Good afternoon. Welcome to the tea table. I am so happy you have joined me today. It is the most glorious summer afternoon, and I want to say, how are you? I am just enjoying this beauty, and I've got cream and brown and kind of summer colors on today. And I love white in summer and I love cream in summer. And so I've tried to put it together. It always reminds me of all the beautiful islands and when the men wear white suits in Africa and in India, in Asia, all of the the St. John down in the Bahamas. Yes. And we talked so much last week about ships and sailing. And I have a few more things to add to that today. But first, if you haven't gotten your tea yet, and here's 2 lovely tea roses, please get your tea and pause, and I'll be waiting for you. Well, I have chosen for you a really beautiful tea set, and I'm going to show it to you. To me, it is Divine Summer, and I'll remove this this is a darling little, it's called a covered plate that goes with it. I have never had that before with a tea set, but isn't that lovely? This is a very old vintage Noritake, beautiful aqua and purple tea set. I just want you to look at it. And I put my tea roses on. I'll show you the vase I have them in. It has the applique little pink roses, and then these are kind of a dusty rose tea rose. Dusty rose tea rose, yes. Isn't it nice? Well, I have a cup for you, and I'm going to pour out, and a cup for me. Now, I'm right-handed, so I like to drink with my right hand. However, often they put the decoration for the left hand. So we'll leave that there. The same with the pot. The main flower is on the left. So I'll see if I can pour out. My left is not as strong as my right. I'm definitely right-handed. I'm not ambidextrous. So, and this beautiful cream pitcher is the same. The most beautiful part of it is this side, see? And it's kind of an aqua with a lavender pink. Oh, it's so beautiful. I don't use sugar, but I had to bring the sugar bowl to show you. It's just so beautiful. It's so fragile. It reminds me of high tea in the summer. How is your tea? I made you a treat. These are homemade banana muffins on a little plate that is also, see, I'll put down my tea and show you. These are homemade banana bran oat muffins, very healthy. And I'll take these off just to show you this lovely plate. Isn't it just beautiful? So, I thought today, because I'm always having my tea set sit down below, the camera is not big enough to take it all in. And so I thought, and I have one other bouquet. These are from my garden, dahlias. Oh, I love dahlias. So many colors. But I thought I will put the special tea set so you can see it here, and hopefully it will show. There, does that show? Oh, not quite. Let's tilt it down a little bit so you can see it. There. Isn't that just so beautiful? I think it's a shame to hide it, and I will put these lovely flowers. Let's see, it's quite interesting when you're dealing with a camera. It's different than dealing with anything else. And the dahlias, we'll just kind of put them here. And I have my tea. Yes. And I have my little muffins here for you. I don't want to knock that off, but I just thought we could all enjoy looking at this tea set during our tea talk. My mother used to say we eat with our eyes, and that's why God made all these beautiful vegetables. I just love this little applique vase. I think it's Italian or maybe Russian. I don't know. The Europeans seem to really like to do that applique work. Well, now I think I'm going to move this just a little bit over so I don't bump it, because I don't want to break any of it. It's so fragile, but yet it's so strong. China is strong. I have discovered that it is strong. Well, I have to tell you, I brought you a little doll I wanted to show you today. And she is so special. I brought her because I was talking about summer reading, and see her little glasses and her golden coronet braids. And look what she's holding. She's holding books. She's a reader. And her little shoes are so sweet. So I wanted to bring her along today too. I thought she was just really at a special, because I think we should all be trying to read in the summer. It's such a good time. Now, I don't know if she can go here. Well, I don't think I don't think she's going to stand up. Just let her sit here for a little bit. Well, I have my tea. We have a full table. And after we talked last week, I started thinking about the Pilgrims and their boat. And I found I had this. I thought I had one. Here it is. That's colonial times, the Pilgrims coming. Look at that ship. It's very much like Francis Drake's ship we talked about. Well, then I thought I needed to really go back on just a few points about Queen Elizabeth I. Because I have several very old, vintage American history books. And several of them, these are like 150 to 200 years old. A couple of them start with Moses coming out of Egypt and freedom. Let my people go. That's what they were in, the revolution. Let my people be free. And then the giving of the law, which is like the Constitution and the establishment of the government. Well, then they would go through many things in history. Alfred the Great, Alfred's Dooms in England, 4th century, were the first real writings of the law, and he was going from the law of Moses. Then, of course, Magna Carta, 1215, when King John overstepped, and they said the big chart, Magna means big, Carta is chart, the big chart saying what the big chart said. Everyone born on British soil is a free man. You've heard of free man? He's not a slave. He's not a serf. He's not a victim. That is so foundational to American, all of what we believe and establish, the Constitution, the Declaration. Well, then moving forward, there's always a picture of good Queen Bess that we talked about. B-E-S-S, Bess. Because she represents exploration. Because Sir Walter Raleigh got permission from her right after Sir Francis Drake. Well, Sir Francis Drake was doing other things. He was circumventing the globe. But Sir Walter Raleigh wanted to explore North America. And she gave him permission and ships. And that was, you've heard of the Roanoke colony, that sadly no one knows what happened to. Well, the backstory is they left the people in Roanoke, Virginia, to establish a colony, and they were going to try to come back within 6 months to give them supplies. Well, in England, that is when Philip the Spain had the Spanish Armada, and he was threatening England. So Elizabeth said, no, we can't give any of our resources. We have to put everything into defending our shores, which made sense. So Queen Elizabeth didn't let them go back. And finally, after they defeated the Spanish Armada, she allowed them to go back. But by then, they found no one there, no trace. To this day, it's a mystery. No one knows what happened. If they got a disease and died, if the Indians killed them, if they got sick and died, or they starved, no one knows. And you know, when we talk about Virginia, that is named after Elizabeth I. She's called the Virgin Queen. And Raleigh, Virginia, that's Sir Walter Raleigh. That's where all of that comes from. So I just wanted to add that in as another interesting note, because Queen Elizabeth was looked to by the founding fathers and the colonialists as a tremendous queen that fought for freedom. Now, at this point, they were fighting England because England, they had a king, George, that didn't understand, did he? No. He was taxing them without any representation. And then we have the Boston Tea Party, yes? So the rest is, I'm not going to go all into colonial history, but we're going to talk about it. In 2 years, America will celebrate 250 years of freedom and American from the time of the Declaration of Independence. And many people don't realize, I didn't really realize till I was studying, the Declaration of Independence was made and written, but it took years fighting that Revolutionary War to really obtain it. Yes. Well, I think I'll put little Dolly down. She's so sweet. I kind of want to give her to my granddaughter, but my granddaughter is only 2. And I don't know that she's old enough, because look at these darling glasses. Oh my goodness, so sweet. But I like to give a doll to a child that looks like the child. And this one looks like my one granddaughter turning 2. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll keep it safe and she can play when she comes to my house. Well, okay, she's sliding around here. I think I'll just put her down there. This is a purse that is just kind of fun. And I really should have had this on my African talk, but it looks like summer. It has the giraffes, and it's definitely Kenyan, Africa. And I just always am thinking about my Kenyans that I teach, and the fact that without these boats, without the colonialization, we would never have had tea, we would never have had coffee. You cannot grow tea and coffee in the climate of Northern Europe or North America. You have to have unrelenting sunshine. Yes. So that we are really grateful to our African people and the East Indian, and well, even there were South American tea farms and the islands. Tea is so important. Tea, we all love coffee too, but tea is bigger than coffee, I discovered, because every single country can obtain it. It's a little easier to make. It's a little easier to pack. You don't have to grind it. I love coffee in the morning, tea in the afternoon. Well, my purse I'm carrying though today is the one I had last week. I think it goes with this outfit, and I have been carrying this purse practically all summer. I love this purse. It's just so, see, it's got the straw. I love straw. I love the natural fibers in the summer, don't you? Yes. Well, I'm going to just, we're listening to Bach, but he's kind of soft. I'm out here actually with you on a Friday afternoon, which is unusual. Usually I try to do my tea talk on Thursday, but didn't get it done yesterday. So there's more noise. There's more background noise on Friday, more traffic. I live right near, I told you last week that my Puget Sound here behind me is either the beginning of the Puget Sound or the end of the Puget Sound. Well, the road above me is 101, and it goes all the way out to the Kitsap Peninsula. It goes all the way around what we call the Loop. Well, actually not the Kitsap. It goes up through Hoodsport, Brennan, up to Port Townsend, up to Squim, Port Angeles, Lake Crescent, Lake Quinault, and then around to the ocean, Ocean Shores, Aberdeen, and then back. So it is a loop. It's called the 101 Loop. Well, in Olympia, it starts and it ends. So I say we're either the beginning or the end. The same with the Puget Sound. Alpha, Omega. Take your pick. We're either the beginning or the end. Well, I just hope. Whoa, that is loud. I'm sorry. Sorry, some of those, I have a highway above me that some of those trucks make a big noise. I like it though. I like having nature on one side of my house, and then half a mile up is, I hear the city, a little bit of the noises, and I don't mind it. I feel like I'm in civilization. I like it. Well, let's have a little more tea here. I think we're so privileged to live in our country, to live in America. And I've been thinking about this so much since the 4th of July, and then talking about the explorations of all these great men that went on the open oceans. Talk about courage. Sir Francis Drake, who we talked about last week, was considered the greatest seaman that had ever, because he literally he circumvented the globe when no one had done it. They're all brave though. Every last one of them are brave. They're all wonderful. And I think it's so worth getting to know them. Well, have you been reading any books this summer? I have. I picked up a wonderful Norwegian writer, and I'm going to bring her next week and show you her book. She's from 100 years ago, and she wrote beautiful stories. And she wrote a story about a girl that started when she was born, and all the books are the girl's whole life. And it was a very novel concept, and she became famous through doing that book. I will bring it next week. Oh, I love this. Air for the G, Bach. That might be his best song. It's either this or Jesu Joy, but then they're all beautiful. And remember, Johann Sebastian Bach, he was writing in the 1700s. Thomas Jefferson liked to play his music in the White House with the quartet. He was that good on the violin. People think he was an amateur. Well, to play Bach string quartets, you have to be pretty good. To sight read that music, it moves so quickly. You have to be well trained. I think Thomas Jefferson was probably one of the most brilliant men of all the founding fathers. They were all brilliant, though. It seems that in history, there are always groups of greatness. You know, that founding fathers, there was that whole collection. Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, George Washington. I mean, so many. They were all just amazing. And they encouraged each other along. And that's what life is. We have to have others to help us. We cannot make it on our own. We can't do the greatest things all alone. No, we need each other. We need the encouragement. And I've often thought also, we talked about on the Tea Talk, the Inklings. Inklings, which was C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, C.S. Lewis's brother, and Dorothy Sayers joined them sometimes. And C.S. Lewis made this very interesting observation. He said, I could never have written all the great books, or he didn't call them great, he was very modest. He said, I could never have done my writings if I had not had that group that I met with. I think they met maybe once a week at the inn near Oxford, and they would read each other their things. So if you're a creative person and you feel stuck, maybe you need to find a few kindred heart friends and form a little club. Not bad. I love what C.S. Lewis said. I always think of this. He said, there's never been a cup of tea big enough or a book long enough to satisfy me. Well, I hope you're going to have a good week. Think about America. Think about your privilege. This is land of the free, home of the brave. You can do things in America that no other country gives you opportunity. It's the entrepreneur's dream. I think of my corner state, Washington. We've only been a state since 1889, and our capital wasn't finished until 1929. And yet, look at the great things that have come out of this state. The Boeing Airlines, Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, Nordstrom's, to name a few. There's many, many, many more. All of these people have one thing in common. They were courageous, they were brave, they thought outside of the box, and they didn't give up, and they didn't let anyone knock down their dream. That's the secret. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Please have a lovely week and have a good cup of tea with a friend. Reach out, enjoy, I think a book club would be fun. It's not too late. We still have we have 7 weeks of summer, 8 weeks actually. If you go to the 20th of September, 9 weeks, but have a little book club. That would be so fun. Maybe we'll have a little book club. I think maybe we will. I'll bring a book next week, and maybe we'll have a book club. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, well, have a great week. Enjoy. Go into nature. Breathe in the sun. Let the wind blow your hair. Store up for the winter. Yes. Thank you so much. God bless. Oh, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. If you haven't shared, share with everybody. Everybody's welcome on the tea table. And please push the notification. You'll be notified. And if you liked it, like it. And my favorite of all is a comment. Thank you. Have a great week. And God bless.